I've got cine primes, I've now got anamorphic lenses, and I've even got a cine zoom. But do you know which lens I use the most? By far, this. It's a little 24-50 f2.8 autofocus zoom, which has somehow surpassed my trusty 24-70 and become the lens that spends more time attached to any camera I've got than anything else I own. I liked the Voyager almost immediately. It's compact, the autofocus works properly, the focal range makes sense, and its images had far more character than I expected from a small, everyday zoom. But the real test came afterwards, once it was no longer an interesting new lens and I had absolutely no obligation to keep using it. A few months later, it's still here, basically welded on. I actually took it to Sony's recent launch event for the FX5 in London, where even members of the Sony team wanted to pick it up and find out what it was. It's travelled with me, come out on ordinary days, covered work, and gradually displaced the lenses I'd previously considered my safest defaults. Now, Thypoch have released a firmware update for it, because lenses receive software updates these days, and their summer sale is about to end. The Voyager sadly isn't included in that sale, although my code JackFilmed should still get you a discount. The simera-c cine primes are included, however, and I think remain some of the best value compact cinema lenses available. So I'm just doing a short follow-up about what happens after a very positive first review. Has the enthusiasm wore off? No. And actually, the more I use the Voyager, the more convinced I become that Thypoch have made something genuinely exceptional. The obvious comparison is a 24-70. For years, that has been the sensible lens. It covers almost everything, it's dependable on paid work, and there are plenty of situations where the extra reach beyond 50mm is genuinely useful. And the Voyager doesn't quite make a 24-70 obsolete, but it's pretty freaking close. I've been pleasantly surprised with how rarely I actually need that extra reach during normal filming. Most of the time I'm working somewhere around 24, 35 or 50mm anyway, and the Voyager gives me those focal lengths in a lens weighing a little over 430 grams, with a constant f2.8 aperture, an internal zoom, and a body that remains the same physical length throughout the range. On the ZV-E1, or small cameras like it in particular, the Voyager creates a genuinely compact full-frame setup. I can pick it up, carry it around all day and start filming without first having to build a camera into something much larger. And because the lens doesn't extend when you zoom, the balance remains consistent, and I think it'll work really well on a gimbal. And also, it feels mechanically much more substantial than most small photographic zooms. The 67mm filter thread is the same as a bunch of Sony lenses I have, which means no buying new filters, and the autofocus on it is rock solid. Plus, the focus and zoom rings didn't pick up lint in the way that I feared they would. And what's more, the lenses survive being carried around and used constantly, and often carelessly, without developing any irritating habits or really showing any signs of that abuse. And those things all explain why it's very practical, but it's the image it creates which explain why I like it. There's a recognisable Thypoch quality to the rendering. The Voyager definitely has some of the visual character that attracted me to the simera-c primes, despite being an autofocus zoom designed for everyday use. The highlights have a pleasing softness, the transition between sharp and defocused areas feels natural, faces don't look aggressively sharpened or weird, and the image has enough texture and depth to avoid the rather clinical appearance that some very corrected modern zooms can produce. And it does all of that without ever becoming optically eccentric. You can film normal professional work with it, and straight lines behave themselves. The image is usable across the entire frame. You're not forced to design every shot around some strange, enormous stylistic quirk, like crazy flaring, for instance. It simply produces footage that I enjoy looking at. And that really affects how often you use the thing. I own lenses with more dramatic characteristics. I'm actually going through a very enjoyable anamorphic voyage of discovery at the moment, and they produce a much more immediately recognizable image. My cine primes give me proper manual focus control and a matched set of focal lengths, and even the Ranger Cine Zoom, with a slightly larger useful range, is designed for a slightly more deliberate operating style. But all of those lenses require a decision. They tend to appear because I've chosen a particular visual approach, built the camera accordingly, and accepted the additional size, weight, or operating complexity. The Voyager, on the other hand, requires very little forethought or planning. You just put it on the camera and go. Except I don't put it on the camera because it's already always on the camera, and then go. But yet, in spite of the lack of prep or planning or forethought when choosing it, the resulting image still feels very considered, so I don't feel as though I've chosen convenience and accepted completely bland footage in return. And that combination is, I'm sure, pretty difficult to achieve, but it's the main reason that the Voyager keeps winning with me. Before we carry on, this is quite a short episode, so I'm not going to do the full ad read, but I have an app, and it's called ColourTemp. Colour spelled with a U, because the English language. And if I do say so myself, the app is kind of brilliant. It saves me from myself, and so there's a good chance that it might save you from yourself as well. I won't go into too much detail. Look it up, enjoy it, and thank me later. Thypoch have now released firmware version 1.06 for the lens. The main addition is support for Sony's DMF and full-time DMF functions, and these allow you to use autofocus and then make manual focus adjustments without having to completely change the way the camera or lens is configured. And that's genuinely useful for video and often reserved for first-party lenses only. There are plenty of situations where I want autofocus to find the subject quickly and then need to make a small manual correction, and then hold the focus in a particular place or deliberately shift it elsewhere. Installing the update is fairly straightforward. You connect the lens directly to a computer over USB-C, download the firmware file, move it onto the lens, and allow the update to install. A firmware update for a lens is still a slightly strange concept to me, although I am really pleased to see that Thypoch is continually improving the Voyager even after release. Also, if you enjoy these longer term updates, where I've actually lived with something beyond the initial review period, please like the video, give it a hype if that button's available to you, and subscribe. And you can find me in between episodes on Instagram, where I'm Jack Filmed. There I share commercial behind the scenes material, camera rigs, and setups that never become full episodes. As well, there's fragments of personal life and bits of lifeboat and maritime work when it's appropriate to share that kind of stuff. Thypoch summer sale ends on the 31st of July, so tomorrow at the time of publication. It includes discounts of up to 20% on some of my favourite lenses. Sadly though, the Voyager isn't one of those discounted products because it's brand new, so obviously why would you? My code JackFilm though should still get you a decent reduction on it. And though this is a little update episode about the Voyager, the particularly interesting thing about the sale for filmmakers is the simera-c range. I own and use the simera-cs, and I continue to think that they are some of the best bang for buck compact cinema primes available on the market. They cover full frame, they're properly geared, and the lenses across the range share consistent handling and a recognisable rendering style. But more importantly, they're genuinely compact. You get much of the operating experience people want from cinema glass without turning a small camera into an enormous rig. They really make a lot of sense for owner-operators, for travel kits, gimbal work, small crews, mirrorless cinema camera owners, and anyone who wants a matched set of lenses. They were already very strong value at their normal price, but with the summer discount, they become astonishingly compelling. And you can stack my discount as well. So the Voyager though sadly sits outside of the official promotion, but there's still a reason to rejoice. The simera-cs are included, and my code will discount them further. When the Voyager originally arrived, I thought that Thypoch had succeeded in making a clever and unusually characterful first autofocus lens. But after living with it, I think they've made one of, if not the most convincing everyday zooms available for E-mount. And the more footage I shoot with it, the more I appreciate what Thypoch has achieved here. It feels as though the people designing it really understood why filmmakers are drawn towards inconvenient manual lenses, and then worked out how to preserve some of that appeal in something you can actually use every day. And they really succeeded. The Thypoch Voyager is the real deal. The summer sale ends on the 31st of July, the simera-cs are included, the Voyager sadly is not, and the code JackFilmed should help whichever direction you choose. I'm Jack, whatever this is, I'm calling Western approaches. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.